First, I must begin by saying that I saw Tyler Perry's new movie Straw yesterday. Today is Sunday when I'm doing this breakdown, this psychoanalytic breakdown of his movie, and more importantly, people's reaction to the movie. What triggered me to do this video was looking at people's reaction, more so the critics' reaction to this movie. And everybody entitled to their own opinion, right? Because at the end of the day, when we watch entertainment, we watch it through a set of lens, right? We watch it through a pair of eyes that have been shaped and are filtered through our own experiences in life, right? And where we stand in life. And so I understand that not everybody is going to agree, right? We're all not going to come from the same perspective in watching films, right? And I think this is what creates great discussion around movies that are so riveting and speak to the human existence, speak to the human experience, such as Straw. Because of that. So I can appreciate a difference in perspective. I can appreciate that, no, we're not all going to agree that this was a spectacular film, that this was a well thought out, well written, well directed, well choreographed film. But I think it takes a special kind of person, a special kind of writer and filmmaker to capture the essence of the Black struggle in a way that resonates and that speaks to the core of millions of people's souls, right? Like, I think it just takes a special kind of person, especially when that person himself is in a different tax bracket, right? Is in a much higher tax bracket than the people represented in the stories that he captures. He's far removed, I would say. Like, he lives in a different reality, though he hasn't forgotten. Like, he's far removed, I would say, but he's not detached. His socio-economic status makes him far removed from that, right? From that reality. He doesn't have to live that experience that he writes about, that's depicted in his films. That's not his current reality. He doesn't have to live that reality, right? The one that a lot of us turn our eyes against. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see, like, you hear a lot of people complaining, I don't want to see movies like this anymore. He does not have to live that reality. But yet, like I said, he's not detached from it. That's why he's able to accurately capture it and put it on screen, put it in a story that many can relate to. There are a subgroup of Black Americans who have seen this film, and they are completely removed. Not just socioeconomically removed, right, from this reality, but I would say spiritually removed, psycho-spiritually detached from this experience, so much to the point where in their reaction video or reaction post, right, to seeing this film, there's a few things present: a lack of empathy, a lack of connectedness, a lack of understanding, a lack of validating one's experience. And so for me, as a person who studies people, like that to me, it concerned me, right? And that's like I said, that's the reason why I came and did this reaction video here and this psychoanalytic breakdown, because that concerns me, especially as a Black person who saw this film, yet they're so detached from that experience, that reality. They're completely detached. All right, like I said, it's one thing, yeah, you probably leveled up in the world, you got you some coin, you moved into quote unquote better neighborhood, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. That matters. How much money a person make, having financial stability and security, oh, it makes a huge difference when it comes to a person's sense of psychological safety and their ability to just exist and live and not have to worry about surviving, about how you're going to pay your rent, how you're going to get food. Having that financial cushion takes the edge off. It allows you to focus on higher level processes, not to be concerned with basic survival instincts, right? Again, there are a good handful, I would say a significant amount of Black people who have risen, right, above that reality that I describe here. And that's a good thing. But at the same time, forgetting what it was like. And I understand, maybe rightfully so, right? You put that part of your reality behind you. You don't look back. You look back, you might fuck around and slip back in those trenches, right? So you keep going, shooting for the stars. And meanwhile, this is people's reality. So I've seen a few posts. And the posts, of course, that I've seen that encapsulate lack of empathy and a sense of disconnectedness detachment from this reality. Those people are Black. They do represent, one may say, the boule or the bourgeoisie, right? The upper class of Black people. But yeah, they ain't no different. They ain't no different really from you and I. This is why I think it's so important as Black people that we always stay grounded, never forgetting who we are, never forgetting our shared history. When you forget where you come from, that's a terrible, scary thing. A lot of people have morphed into something that is very far removed from that. And again, like I said, I think it's more so for them a protective mechanism because they fear slipping back into those trenches. It's a survival mechanism to forget and to dissociate, right? To detach oneself from poverty, any kind of resemblance of it. They don't want no parts of that. And even when it's reflected in a film, this is entertainment, you guys. At the end of the day, I find that part interesting. It's entertainment. And even still in watching this story unfold, knowing that it's entertainment, again, people's reaction says a lot. It speaks to who they are, where they stand, their perspectives, their belief systems, their attitudes. And I'm just like, okay. It reveals like contradictions too. Because again, you guys know, of course, I identify myself as a Pan-African. I'm deeply rooted in my African identity. And I'm very much deeply connected to my roots, to the Black community. And on Instagram, right, I'll come across these posts. One is a so-called Black influencer, leader in the Nation of Islam. And I'm going to paraphrase his reaction. He's like, basically, like I said, criticizing the film in so many words, saying, oh, this isn't reality. I don't know any Black women who's going through all of that. He's saying that the film gives a false sense of like almost like a false sense of hope, a false sense of success, and like almost like, you know, at the end of the story, Taraji could be seen as like a sacrificial lamb, and she was praised, right, for that. And he's saying that, oh, it gives Black women this false sense that that's okay to do all of that, right? Even though, yes, she's at a disadvantage in life, she's suffering, she holds up a bank, and then people are rooting for her. They're looking up to her, right? almost like a martyr. And he's saying that he didn't like that aspect of the film. He didn't really like the film altogether. But I'm like, interesting that he took that away from the film. And I'm thinking, I don't think anybody watched this film and say, oh, you know what? I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to go hold up a bank because I'm suffering. Life is fucked up for me. So I'm going to go hold up a bank and people are going to cheer and root me on. And I'm going to walk away with a badge of honor. Meanwhile, she still got arrested. But I'm like, interesting. And he will say such a thing. And it's a lot there to unpack. So let's go stay here for a minute. For him to even dismiss or be remiss of the fact that, yes, this is true for a significant number of Black women. That's this reality. For him to say he don't know any Black woman goes to show how disconnected he is from the reality. But yet, you will claim to be a Black conscious leader? It's like the level of hypocrisy, but it's very telling. And it's good that the truth can come out. The truth always gonna come out. But y'all have to be keen enough to listen and to see it when it shows its head. Because there's no way that you proclaim to be a Black leader and you know what's in the best interest of Black people and you can identify and you really care and can relate to Black people, but meanwhile you dismissing a whole demographic. You completely are remiss to the reality of a whole demographic of people. That's like a person trying to become president. Meanwhile, you got 14% of the population that you completely don't even understand. You don't even, let alone know, like you can't even connect with them. You don't even know what their needs are. Or maybe you just don't care. That's still a significant portion of people. Then I ask myself, because I'm always curious of the why. And how can a person be so remiss or so detached? Is this intentional? Do they suppress this reality intentionally? Because it's their adaptive coping mechanism? Because I honestly think it's easier for some people to take that stance as, oh, that's not true. This is not, Black women ain't going through all of that. That's unrealistic. I know a lot of people have bad days, but they don't do all of that. Like, first of all, to dismiss it, then to minimize it. This is more than just a bad day. Yes, the story reflects what happened in one day, but this is more than just one day. I'm like, a person, like, yo, your comprehension can't be that limited to think that this is just the summation of events that happen in one day. I'm like, okay, are people just presenting controversial, critical analyses of the film just for clout? That could be a driving force too. Or is this their accurate reaction? Like, is this really how they truly feel? And I'm asking myself, like, I don't know what's more hurtful. Her reality, right? Like her actual reality, I think her name was Janaya, and what she was going through, or the level of disconnectedness that Black people have shown, some Black people have shown in response to this and seeing the film. Because I'm saddened. Now, granted, I would say that's the minority. Most people have received this film very well. Of course, it did what it's supposed to do. It tugged at our heartstrings. A lot of people said they cried. And that's because they went into the film, number one, knowing that this story, yes, it's fictional. I don't think the story was based on any, true story that he had in mind when he wrote it. But I'm sure he pulled from different pieces of reality, people's reality. This is what makes him a great storyteller. And his core audience, we know, is Black women. And I think this is the reason why he is so he is so loved by Black women, because he makes Black women feel seen. People say, oh, well, we got enough of those kinds of stories. Well, why don't you go become a screenwriter? Why don't you go and make some films? If you want to see something different. And the funny thing, he has created a range of films showing Black people in quote unquote a positive light, success, but I feel like that's still subjective. I think that there is a place for stories like this to show that, you know what? First of all, yes, Black women, there are some Black women for whom this is their reality, which validates their experience to say, you know what, we see you. And it can make a Black woman think twice. Seeing herself, seeing her story on the screen like that, Black women living in poverty, being a single mother, risking losing their place to stay, having their child taken away from them, or being threatened to have their child taken away from them, losing their child to a medical condition, reaching a breaking point psychologically. I feel like the story had so many layers, and it was so thick with harsh truths that I think it was a lot for people to bear, for some people to bear. And this is the reason why they dismissed the reality, or undermined it, or minimized it, or laughed it off, right? But they didn't give it truth. They didn't validate the experience and this reality. Like I said, I think it was easier for them to do otherwise. Then I saw another post from a black female celebrity, a singer, R&B singer, and she's like, oh, that could never be me. That would never be me. I don't understand. How did she get to that point? That could never be me. I mean, yes, I reached that point, but then I had to pull my shit together. So her comment was similar to the black leader representing the Nation of Islam, in that he's saying he don't know a black woman like that. So in so many words, they could be saying, okay, we better than that, right? We shouldn't limit ourselves to violence, to crime. We've overcome a lot, but they didn't say that, right? I think their response was more, it depicted more of their ignorance and their detachment from this reality. It kind of showed a degree of narcissism too, because they made it about themselves. And I think, to me, that's very hurtful, I think. And it's sad. I would say it's the sad part about it, because it's like, this is where we at. That's why I say I don't know what's sadder, the actual story, watching a film, or people's reaction to it. I went back to look at his IG page, and I think he deleted, because he probably had to think like, wait a minute, that ain't the way to go. Because it's like, come on, man. Yes, black women, we're very strong. We're resilient. We carry a lot. We make that shit look easy too. But for Tyler Perry to make a film like this, see, this is a conversation people really don't want to have. But for him to make a film like this, that millions of black women watch, and to see their reaction, they lose their breath. It's breathtaking. They cry. There should be healing circles formed to discuss this film, because it's something there. Like I said, yes, it's entertainment, but it's more to it than that. Uncover, okay, what's behind those tears? That's the conversation that needs to be had for black women. What's behind those tears? Bring your story to life. A lot of black women see themselves in that character, Janaya. And then for people to say, oh, well, that's not real life. Man, he barely even touched the surface with this, right? Much of the film was held in the bank location, right? She's holding up the bank. But to unpack even how she got to that point, how did she become a single mother in the first place? You know what this film didn't have? Which is a major problem in the black community. And not just in the black community, but many women have been affected by sexual trauma. Baby, that's a whole nother layer right there. This film ain't even touched that. This film ain't touched childhood trauma. It ain't show that. At least not childhood trauma in the mother that black women go through. And I think what triggered some black men, what I noticed, black men weren't really represented in this film. And I think that's the issue that a lot of black people, black men especially, when you look at their reaction, they're criticizing him. No, a lot of black men don't even like Tyler Perry anyway, because I feel like they probably feel like Tyler Perry don't see them. And if he does see them or represent them, their stories on film, it's making them look bad, not heroic, not strong, not upstanding citizens of society. And in this film, you can probably count how many black men were in this film. How many? What, the detective? I think that was it, but he wasn't even the head. He wasn't even the person that was calling the shots, really. It was Taraji P. Henson. Not Taraji, sorry. It was, what's the girl name? She the one, the female detective. She the one that had the magic sauce. And I think that was beautiful because it showed, like, listen, even though, because I was like, damn, it was kind of, that's what I think triggered a lot of black women and pulled our heartstrings, like, up until a certain point. And it took a long time to get to this point where, damn, she finally had got a break. It was damn near the end of the movie. But everybody has told her no. Everybody rejected her, told her no, didn't see her. Everybody stepped on her, including black women. And her black, the black boss at her job. The black man that came in to rob her boss. Like, everybody. And I think that's another thing. So, yeah, the black men, yeah, they were in this film, but not represented in a good light. So the black man watching this film, it's just like, okay, for them to appreciate the film, you almost gotta step outside your shoes. Put yourself in the shoes of a black woman to really appreciate it. Because no, you may not have seen yourself in this film. Most black men, I mean, think of the characters in this film. There really ain't no room for a black man to see themselves in this film. And what character? It ain't really, it was a black detective. It was a, and he ain't really, say too much. He gave, what is her fucking name? Her name is evade my memory. The one that played the character in the other Tyler Perry movie. She was like, Byron. Damn, what's her fucking name? It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, he gave her permission to take the lead in the investigation. Pretty much she was a mediator, the hostage negotiator, right? And she played that role so well. But it was that black man, it was Taraji P. Henson's boss, Janaya boss, and it was the black man that came in and robbed the boss that she ended up shooting. A black man, they wasn't really represented. That's not the kind of film this was. And I think because Tyler Perry know his loyal core audience, he writes films for his loyal core audience. What sense does it make to do anything other than that? It will be taking a risk. Because this is a financial investment, right? It's taking a risk for him to do anything outside of that, knowing damn well black men, not heterosexual black men for that matter, they're not really watching Tyler Perry films. They don't really take this man seriously when it comes to the entertainment space. Because the whole Medea character thing, the black man don't really take Tyler Perry seriously. So again, to appreciate this film as a black man, hold on, let me say this. Hold on, give me a second. But to appreciate this film as a black man, you have to, first of all, have appreciation for black women. How do you do that? There's a lot of, I want to say most, but a good number of black men just don't. Even though they come from a black woman. A lot of black men hate black women. They have internalized racist views of black women. That's why they date outside their race. Or they treat black women like the scum of the earth. But meanwhile, black women, we still have space to hold their experience and empathize with them. It can be a film that's made for black men and black women will watch it and still honor the black man in watching that film. Still honor his experience, right? Still pay tribute to, the black man's experience. Even though we may have not been represented numerically in the film. But we still show up for them. But why is it that black men, there's this disconnect? There's a disconnect, and it's just why is that? To me, that's the saddest part. People talking about, they crying over the film. And yes, I watched the film yesterday, and I did cry. We cry for Janaya. She represents so many black women, and we see ourselves in her, right? So we show compassion for that character. But black men don't have that compassion for the black woman like that. It's clear. It shows in their reaction to this film. I pay attention. I'm looking at the reviews. I'm looking at the comments. And yes, like I said, majority responses, black women, empathetic. They say they cry. But I'm like, where is a black man that's empathetic? I don't think I've seen any of those comments from black men who like, God dang, can a black woman get a break? Because we carry our strength so well. This is what gets me. When that Nation of Islam men like, oh, I don't know any black women like that. Yeah, because they in prison. And yeah, because a lot of black women walking around, that's why, like I say, a lot of black women, we can have respect for Tyler Perry because he get it. And I think he was close to his black mother. Her being a single mother. But he get it. And seeing that, yo, a lot of black women walk around here. We may not be in prison, but a lot of black women on their last straw. All of yo, holding on by a string. Can go to work 2, 3 jobs, make ends meet, taking care of children that's been abandoned by the father, put down publicly by society, told that we ain't shit, we ugly, we this and we that. Holding on by a string, but yet still show up, get dressed up. And even when we get dressed up in our beauty, we still ridicule. Still not good enough. Not good enough for the black man, not good enough for the white man. Not good enough for society. But yet we still show up. Still cook. Still show up for the black man. And yet, where's the black man to show up for us? We walk around and we carry our oppression so well. So yeah, that's why it may seem like, oh, I don't know any black woman like this character in this movie. Phew. Oh, there a lot of they walking around. They right close to you. You don't know because they wearing a mask. But that's why I say we need these healing circles. Because all that shit'll come out. Have a discussion. All that shit. The pain. Because a person ain't gonna just cry in reaction to this film. Yes, being human. Being human can warrant those tears. Just being a human being. And having compassion and empathy for another person. But sometimes I cry different, baby. And it all depends on how that cry, how them tears come out. Gonna let you know what's behind them tears. Some women, that's their current struggle. Some women, they overcame that shit. Some women could be contemplating suicide. Guess what? The black man will never know. Society will never know. Because we don't have that safe space for black women. You will never know the depth of a black woman's pain. You just will never know. We don't carry that shit for the world to see. We're not able to do that. Black women not able to walk around and be mad. We get labeled, oh, the angry black woman. Black women walking down the street and be always told, oh, smile. Damn, you're not allowed to express different emotions, only except for happiness. It's an insult for a black man to tell a black woman to smile. Let her show up how she shows up. To tell a black woman to suppress, because that's what you're doing. You're telling her to suppress her emotion. You don't know what she's going through. But I guess it clearly don't matter. We just told her, keep going. That's unhealthy, man. Do you not know that? Do you not know it's unhealthy? And y'all may think, oh, well, no, that's what you call perseverance. That's what you call resiliency. But you still need time to heal, to just get up and keep going when you've been hurt, to get up and keep going day to day. At some point, baby, that straw gonna happen. It's gonna break. That's what this movie is an ode to. So let people know. It's to raise awareness on mental health within black women. See, some of y'all didn't even get the message because you're so narcissistic. You made the film about yourself as a black man. Or I don't know any black women like that. Or I wouldn't do that if I was in her. I wouldn't even do that. It ain't about you. But again, y'all don't know how many black women is at that point, at that breaking point. Some already did it. Shit. That's why they in prison. You say you don't know because your ass don't visit the prisons. You're not talking to the black women that's locked up for murder. I have, though. That's the work I do. As a psychologist, I worked in the prisons. I worked in the psychiatric hospitals. So I know these women. I've met Janaya working in psychiatric hospital and working in a prison. I've met her. Suffering from paranoid schizophrenia, suffering from hallucinations, seeing things, hearing things, suffering from PTSD, depression, suicide. Y'all say y'all don't know her? Oh, because you don't want to know her. You don't see her? Maybe she's wearing a mask. She's sitting right next to you. She probably living with you. She in your neighborhood. Oh, she's out here. This shit is real. It's real. It may not show up in the form of holding up a bank. Oh, but it shows up. Y'all know it. Black men, I'm sure, black men who can be honest enough to admit, you've seen it. It shows up in many different ways. When a woman is fed up, it shows up. I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here, and I want you guys to drop your comments below. Feel free. I know that we all have our own opinions, our subjective interpretations of this film and understanding of it. And I welcome you guys. Please do share, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.